This is our POL242 bivariate research assignment in which we will be exploring public opinion on President Obama's 2010 healthcare reform law, also referred to as the Affordable Care Act. As you can see, the data is taken from the 2012 American National Election Study Preliminary Release Codebook. We are looking at support for the 2010 healthcare reform law, which changes the dynamic of the American healthcare system. The full question and data set is located at the bottom of the table. This frequency distribution chart uses 3 ordinal degrees of support for the 2010 healthcare reform law. We use an ordinal dependent variable, in which the median and mode are the only relevant summary measures. The mode reflects the value label which favors the 2010 healthcare reform law. The median reflects the value label that coincides with neither favor nor opposing the act. We declare the value labels of don't know and refuse to be missing, as they are irrelevant to the study. This is also the case for the range measurement, which is also inapplicable. We recoded the order of the value labels due to the ordinal nature of the dependent variable.
We have 2 hypotheses as to why opinions toward the 2010 American healthcare reform law may differ. The first states that those who identify as Democrats will be more likely to support the Affordable Care Act. We offer an arrow diagram and a rationale spawning from 2 literary resources, in which the aspects of partisan polarization and partisan loyalty should support our hypotheses. Our second hypothesis stipulates that those who are African American will be more likely to support the Affordable Care Act. Again, we offer an arrow diagram and a rationale spawning from 2 literary resources, in which the aspects of racial polarization and racial attitudes should support our hypothesis.
Our first cross-tabulation examines how political partisanship affects opinions regarding healthcare reform. We declared the party identification value labels don't know, refused, and no preference as missing. The results show that political partisanship heavily influences opinions on healthcare reform, substantiated through the division most notably between Democrats and Republicans regarding the law. The measure of association was 0.387, a value rendered by the calculation of Kramer's V, which indicates a strong relationship between the variables. Referencing our hypothesis, we see a strong percentage of Democrats favoring healthcare reform, which indicates validity in our hypothesis. Our second cross-tabulation examines how race and ethnicity affects opinions regarding healthcare reform. We declare the race value label inapplicable as missing. The results show that there is disparity in support for the law, most notably in comparison of support between whites and non-whites, specifically in regards to African Americans. It is interesting to note that the inapplicable race category shows a large percentage to favor the healthcare reform law, and was not recoded due to the large number of respondents within the category. The measure of association was 0.218, a value rendered by the calculation of Kramer's V, which indicates a moderate relationship between the variables. Referencing our hypothesis, we see a strong percentage of blacks favor healthcare reform, which indicates validity in our assertion.
Again, both of our hypotheses show a desirable level of association between the variables, which suggests that further research into the nature of the topic would be appropriate. Speaking to unexpected differences, it is surprising to note that independent voters are so divided in regards to healthcare reform. Furthermore, it is interesting to note how divided Hispanics are in regard to healthcare reform. In regards to the rationale concerning both hypotheses, it is interesting to note that aspects such as partisan polarization, as well as racial polarization and racial attitudes, all coincide with our results.
In conclusion, the study suggests healthcare has seemingly become another social welfare concern in America, whereby public opinion on this issue is based on race and political identification. The implications of this study suggest that it would be beneficial for future research to explore the questions we have provided, most notably the question of whether racial polarization is related to Barack Obama being the first African American president.